Welcome back to Race to Win, the sailing podcast. Here at raceQs, we've gotten quite a few questions about using raceQs in protest hearings. People wonder, is raceQs admissible? How accurate is it? What kind of experiences have other people had? The answer is a little bit complicated. Let's start by heading over to Norway, where we're going to watch a mark rounding video recorded by a judge on the committee boat of a regular Wednesday night sailboat race.
213 entering 3 boat lengths, it's clear. If Oddvar passes now, it's a protest.
The judge is talking about the 3 boat length zone, which is referenced in International Sailing Rule 18.2b. Basically, the rule says when boats are approaching the mark, there is a 3 boat length zone around the mark. When the first boat touches that zone, if another boat is overlapping them, the inside boat has right-of-way around the mark. But of course, it's a bit more complicated than that. Overlap is established at the moment that the first boat touches the outside of that 3 boat length zone. Any overlap that happens after that doesn't count. And if there's no overlap, that boat that's trying to sneak in the inside does not have right-of-way and will lose in a protest situation. So take a look at Oddvar here in this boat with the black and white spinnaker, who believes he has overlap against Fru Vista here.
Oddvar. No. That's a big mistake.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious what the judge thinks about the situation. Oddvar is a avid raceQs user and contacted us about using raceQs in this protest situation. So let's hear it from him.
Okay, my name is Oddvar Myrnes, and I was sailing my boat Express on this Wednesday race, and the conditions were very light.
Although it seems clear in the video, at least from this angle, that Oddvar did not have overlap. He felt that the raceQs GPS track told a different story.
Because if you look at the track, you can see how Fru Vista is maneuvering when he gets close to the mark, and that opened the door for me to go on the inside. So this is also very educational for the 3 boat length zone. Now the boat length zone on this playback is not 100% correct, because the boats are 26 feet and the avatar is for an Express 27. So the boat or the circle is drawn about 1 meter wrong.
So for our purposes, we decided to assume that the 3 boat length zone circle in the replay should be a little bit smaller.
That's where he is touching. And then if you draw a perpendicular line from the stern, you see that it hits my boat midship right there. So I was in the right, and that is what I argued against. But they told me that they wouldn't even look at it, because in a protest they say that it's not admissible.
So we started talking about GPS accuracy. When you're looking at a raceQs GPS track, unfortunately, cell phone GPSs just aren't that accurate. We figure the margin of error is about plus or minus 3 meters, so up to 6 meters. Let me show you an example. Here's a track from somebody's race on San Francisco Bay. See these 2 boats? It looks like it's 2 race boats doing the exact same thing. However, it's actually 2 phones on the same boat. See how far apart they are? The raceQs avatar is calculated based on the fact that you have placed your phone in the exact center of the boat. But in reality, you might have it at the helm or you might have it in your bag down below at the bow. So that's just one of the factors that creates this margin for error in the raceQs GPS tracks. That margin makes it difficult to use unsupported tracks as evidence for close maneuvers in protest hearings. Luckily, Oddvard had a video to support his track. And let's go back and hear his explanation of how he actually does see an overlap in the video.
The individual positions of the boat is such that I have overlap over the boat in front of me, and it's hard to see from the angle that the video is shot that this overlap has been established. The judge ruled against me, or he said that it was inadmissible for me to say, and they judged the situation based upon the video as it is, and it was hard for them to see that I had overlap at that particular time.
Even though the replay isn't that accurate as far as distance, we can still look at the relative positions and angles of the boats. Look at the way Fru Vista is angled towards the mark, and Oddvard is coming down about at midships, right when they reach that 3 boat length circle, which remember is actually a little smaller than we see in the replay. Now look at the video again. This video is shot from an angle that creates an issue with depth of field. We perceive that the boats are closer together than they actually are and are pointed in the same direction. Let me draw you the actual angles the boats are at, and you can see what Oddvard was thinking here. From his angle, he is headed right at the midship of Fru Vista, and actually there may have been an established overlap. This is a perfect example of the best use for raceQs at a protest hearing, which is as supporting evidence. Although we can't see exactly where the boats were, we can see their relative positions and their movements over time. For protests that involve longer incidents, raceQs becomes even more valuable. Good luck out there. Thank you so much to Oddvard Byrnes for his time and all of his help with this podcast. And if you caught a cool situation using raceQs, I would love to hear from you. See you next time. If you enjoyed this podcast, you can find more on our website, www.raceqs.com/podcast.